do you ride it out or do you try to gamble? And what gambles are there around to take? And in the comments, it's littered in there. And I put up HBICs. He says, Tim Elko season, and we riot. So there's been a lot of Tim Elko whispers out on the Twitterverse. Now let's level set on Tim Elko. Tim Elko is 26. He's not a prospect. Okay. He was a guy who was a senior sign, a guy who played great for Ole Miss. But he's kept hitting as a first baseman all the way up through AAA. His AAA stats right now, 307 on base, or 307 average, 375 on base, 500 slug, 12 homers, 44 RBIs, and 275 plate appearances at AAA. Those are good, solid numbers. I know Charlotte's like, the PCL. So take it with a little bit of grain of salt. The main thing that people are worried about, though, with Tim Elko is the strikeout rate. They're like, Tim Elko is a lot of strikeouts, and, sometimes it doesn't go on the majors. I decided to, looking on some research, boys, I went to Fangraphs, and Jeff Zimmerman has some detailed research from 2022 about how to translate AAA strikeouts to the Major League. And guess what? Usually add about 4.5% to your strikeout rate when you go up to the majors. And right now, Tim Elko is basically at a flat 30% K rate. That's a lot in AAA. But it's not rateable. It doesn't happen evenly like that. And actually, the motherfuckers that strike out more, they don't gain more when they go to the majors. They gain less, actually. Now, it could be biased based on the type of player that's getting sent up there. Maybe the guys that would turn their 30% K rate into 40%, maybe they never get promoted. And so the guys that they have more promise get promoted, maybe there's something there. But let's just assume that Tim Elko's strikeout rate will be between 30 and 34%. Do you guys think there were a lot of guys in the Major League Baseball last year that had those strikeout rates or not?
I would say there are, yeah. I mean, the league has gone that way. So I would say, yes, there's more guys with 30%.
Gavin Sheets is there, and he strikes out a shitload, according to Shreezy, from 3 minutes
He's
ago,
at 26%.
Here's a graph from last year. Players with at least 250 plate appearances. As you can see, the entire fucking page is filled with guys above 30% K rates who were playing. Some people were playing quite regularly, 400, 500, 600 plate appearances. Some are White Sox here, right? You see Paul DeYoung, you see Luis Robert Jr., and you see Corey Lee or whatever. And so I think the strikeout rate concern should no longer be a fucking concern with Tim Elko. If you want to take a shot at Tim Elko, I see no reason not to take a shot.
Let's do it.
If he comes up here and strikes out 45% of the time, fine, it failed. It didn't work. But there's no reason not to give a shot. And I don't even think you need to get rid of Andrew Vaughn to do this. I think there's plenty of dead weight on this roster, and you can bring him up here and give it a try. And I think that the White Sox realistically should, from two perspectives. One, they don't hit enough fucking home runs. All right. We know this. We watch them every day. And you see them, you get frustrated because they get guys on base or whatever. No one can get a clutch hit. The clutchest hits to me are 3-run fucking homers, not trying to dink a fucking single with 2 outs. All right. Which they can't do. They hit the pop-up ball over.
Can't do either.
But number two, and more importantly, and something I thought Getz was invested in because it seems like they have been so far, is how about you just reward a guy for playing well all the way up if you didn't even expect it, and bring that motherfucker to the majors and let's see it. Let's give it a shot. Let's give the guy some run, especially on a shitty-ass team like this. And so, to me, the data doesn't deny Elko, and all the soft stuff, to me, pushes towards Elko. I see no reason not to try it.
Not to mention, they're trying their damnedest to tape Brandon Drury's thumb back to his hand and go, you're back. You're back. We're going to bring you up. Like, why not bring up Elko in that situation?
Why not?
Right? Don't look at Brandon Drury spring training. Look at him for his career. The motherfucker strikes out a ton too. Doesn't get on base. Like, same warts. All right. So if you're looking for power, Elko's just as good as Drury, and Drury can't play any position.
And think about Elko in the same context in which you thought about Daniel Palka.
Well,
you might get a 4 or 5 month run, right? I'm assessing like you might get 4 or 5 great months of just a guy hitting for power, but not a real good player, just a guy who can help.
We haven't had a good feel-good story about a player in I can't remember when, right? Like, you haven't had this guy come out of nowhere like Palka did and just bash the shit out of the ball for 3 months. And it was I would like to see that happen. So it's just fun. Let's go play with the matches. You know what? And we end up starting the shed on fire. Sorry, okay, but let's just play with the match a little bit and see what happens.